Hey guys, it is time for the weekly shop tour. We are still in December, starting to get cold outside. It's dark in the morning, it's dark in the afternoon. It's kind of a depressing time of year, but there's always something going on in the shop. So let's check it out. Thursday, December 9th. It is a packed house here at JPM, and while that is generally a good thing, honestly the only reason it's so packed is because I'm having a hard time getting parts to complete some projects, which is kind of the standard theme these days, but let's take a little tour anyway. So this is the new engine for the Integra. So this is a B18 A1 or B1 engine, non-VTEC. Over the last couple of years, obviously, since I've been working with Cliff Ira on his STL Integra, and now the B16 Del Sol that we did, I'm learning a lot about Hondas, and I do like what I see. I mean, Honda builds a really nice motor, so we've kind of got a lot of the pieces that we need here. You can see it's getting an ATI damper, got some really nice cam gears, you know, all the new gaskets. Was even able to source the proper Cometic head gasket after I CC'd the cylinder head. This is the old gasket. So I keep these old gaskets around for checking valve to piston clearance. I don't like using the new head gasket. I like to use an old one just to check that. So you can see the block is here. The rods are in, the pistons are in. Waiting on, what are we waiting on? A special O-ring for the oil pump and a different crank gear. There were two different crank gears on these. One of them had a trigger wheel, one of them didn't. My donor did not. So, like I said, learning about Honda stuff, but looking pretty good actually. Looking pretty good. I enjoy learning new things. So. New project here, and this is something that I don't do a lot of, and it's actually really hard for someone to talk me into doing one of these. But this is a Spec Miata engine. So this is Tyler Ladd's motor, local guys, which are about the only guys I'll do Spec Miata engines for anymore. Why is it that I don't like doing Spec Miata engines? I'll tell you why. It's because it's a total racket. Everybody's looking for 2 horsepower, 1 horsepower, and I am so busy with everything else that I do. The guys that are really good at churning out multiple really good Spec Miata motors, that's kind of all they do is Spec Miata. You know, you've got the X Factor guys with Chris Haldeman and Jim Drago's East Street Racing, and you know, those are kind of the two really big engine builders in the country that I know about. I mean, they're all over the place when it comes to Spec Miata, but those guys, you know, will turn out, I don't know, 40 or 50 Spec Miata motors a year. And when you do that, you can specialize. So it's one of the reasons why I've specialized in some of the more high-performance engines. But anyway, the point is, yes, I can build Spec Miata engines. Yes, I have the tools to do the plunge cuts. Yes, I know how to do a legal Spec Miata motor and make sure that everything is proper. It's just not something I do a lot of, not something I want to do a lot of. So keep that in mind if you ask me about a Spec Miata. Let's do a little LS3 update. So really chipping away. You know, got the differential in, got the motor in, got the tranny in, got our tranny brace in, looking good, right? Well, I'll tell you, the hardest part of this project is what I'm in the middle of right now, and that is wiring. So we are integrating a GM ECU with a Mazda ECU, and they have to work together through the CAN bus. We're going to use some of the Mazda parts, some of the GM parts, and it all works together. And as it turns out, this is only about the 4th one of these NDs that's been done. And after talking to the guys at Flying Miata, This is actually the very first ND2. All of the cars that they have done up to this point have been pre-2019, which were the ND1s. So there's not a lot of differences, but of course Mazda did change some of the colors in the wires, in the harnesses, so that makes it a little tricky. So yeah, hang on for this. But I kind of spent all day on it yesterday, so today I'm going to take a break and I'm going to work on a Spec Miata engine so I don't lose my sanity. But it's coming along. It's going to happen, don't get me wrong. It's just when you do a lot of teeny tiny wiring, especially up under the dash, it's very tedious work. It takes a long time, and yeah, I only like doing so much of that at once. So you guys are catching me right in the middle of my next YouTube video. So what we've got going on right now, and I did the initial part of the video already, is I'm doing a video on fasteners and Loctite. What works, what doesn't work, why you would use it in different places. So check out that video. It should be up on the JPM Performance channel. And guys, hey, if you're checking that out, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. I am pushing to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Kind of hit something up on Facebook 2 days ago, and picked up like another 80 subscribers. I really appreciate that. But I've got a bunch of videos coming down the pipe, so you can see just a little sneak peek some of the different fasteners that I'm working on here. These two actually have Loctite on them, as does this one. But check out the video and you can get the in-depth action on the differences between all of these different fasteners. So Dave Ryder's car's still here. Well, kind of got it all completed here. Got the AccuSump done, got it dynoed, looking good inside here. Went to check the alignment, and this right rear had terminal toe out, and I'm assuming it's from his wreck at Hallett last year. But this tire was towed out about 1 inch, and no adjustment could pull that in. So what we've got is a twisted spindle. Fortunately, he found one, and should be on its way. So another car sitting and waiting. BMW update. I cannot wait to get all of this plastic back on this ND and get it out of here. What a mess. BMW update. Valve lash and camshaft installed on the exhaust side this week. So you guys know I chip away at this thing constantly. Only about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. But, you know, I'll clean something one morning. So just to give you an example how, you know, the bench is starting to clear off here a little bit. So I've got the caps for the intake cam cleaned. It needs to be, the cam still needs to be cleaned, and all of these parts need to be cleaned, but we're chipping away. Chipping away. You guys are going to love this. So last week I talked about the drive shafts for this car. Well, they came in, and they came in 1 inch too long. How long have I been waiting on these drive shafts? 2.5, 3 months? Actually sent them the drive shaft out of the car so they would have the exact length. Now, I'm not going to bag on this company because that's just not right, but they wanted to know the length of the drive shaft. The transmission and differential were out of the car, if you guys remember. This car's been sitting here a while. Transmission and differential were out of the car. I said, I can't give you that length. What I've got is the exact drive shaft that came out of this car. I'm going to send it to you. So I did. And they measured it and made 2 drive shafts, and they were too long. I called them up because they didn't send me back my old drive shaft either. I said, these drive shafts are too long. And they said, here's the spec you gave me, 40.062 inches. I said, I did not give you a spec. I sent you a drive shaft. Where's that drive shaft? So he goes and finds this drive shaft, measures it while we're on the phone, and says, oh yeah, it's 39 inches. I'm like, yeah, but why did I send you this drive shaft? This is the kind of stuff that makes me want to beat my head on the wall. Just do your job. It's not that hard, right? Measure. It's, I don't know, what is it? Just not paying attention, don't care. I have no idea. I don't get it, but it is what it is. So obviously the Integra is still sitting here waiting on her new engine. Did get the transmission sitting over here. Got the old engine sitting here. I'm just kind of using this as a template so that I know all of the different little pieces that I need to put on the new one. But it's just kind of sitting here as a template. I think that Eric has made some progress. Let's take a quick look. Oh yeah. So it looks like we've got our new ECU and fuse box relay setup in. He did a real nice job mounting this. You can see he used brackets, which is the way I like to do it as well. Just roll bar brackets and then a nice panel. We are going to use, and he knows this, he's just got this sitting here right now, but what I prefer to use is a vibration spacer. So it'll be a piece of rubber with two studs on each end that will go in between here, just to give this a little vibration dampening for the ECU. But looking pretty good there. So we've got all winter to get that done, but you know, might as well just keep chipping away. I did finish up Perry's transmission. So this is the Jericho for the track day car. So took it all apart, re-geared it. Here are some of the old parts. So I know you guys have seen dog rings before, and these aren't super bad, but you can see how it's rounded off, the dog ring, especially on this one. These are the slider hubs. You can see how this has been rounded off a bit. Same with the 1-2 right here, and this side as well. So because this car is getting a turbo with the engine, it's going to make so much torque. What we did is we widened up our ratios. So rather than being a close ratio transmission, it is now a wide ratio transmission. So that way he can actually use the torque in first gear. These are only 4-speed transmissions, so sometimes you need to widen up your ratios and utilize the torque because of the power band. I mean, this thing's going to make, his engine's going to make buku power at like 4,000 RPMs and pull all the way to 75. So anyway, that's where we're at there. Old Wade's car is just kind of sitting here lonely, still waiting on the new pistons for the F production cars. Still have Campbell's motor there to take apart. Still have Perry's other engine here to take apart. Plus the ND, plus Dave's, plus all these other motors and everything else that's going on. So, like I said, super busy, but waiting on a lot of parts. So that's kind of the theme of the last year. And, you know, it is what it is. So hope you guys have had a great week. I appreciate you watching these. I hope you're learning something. As always, hit me up if you have a question. Happy to answer questions always. And if you have a comment or whatever, but hit that subscribe button. Help me get to these 1,000 subscribers. We're up at like 940, I think, today. So 60 more. We're so close. Thank you guys so much for your support as well. If you ordered a JPM Performance t-shirt, they should be shipping any day. I believe they were going to make them the 1st of December and get them shipped right out. Of course, this time of year, you know, shipping can be a problem. So it might take a little more time, but I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. I hope you're enjoying it. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget the new Loctite video. Take care. Bye.